Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Where the heck? There we go. All right. Boop. And post. And gotta bring it up on my iPad so I can look at the chat. There we go. Pop out that chat. Chat has been popped out. Wee. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Cool. All right, let's bump this table up. No sit, only stand. Okay, let's be such a good boy. I'm not really 100% satisfied with that face. All right, let's play with this a little bit. Why not? I'm not really gelling with what I drew here. Okay, let's see here. What's more sad? I want more determined. Give me determination, Ian. Show me that you want to be useful and not a leech roommate. Like your couch, Tatsu? Yeah, you're awfully cute. I'd plug in the cam if I wasn't convinced you were gonna run away. You're so handsome. You're so handsome. Look at the... Okay, maybe I will put the camera up. You are looking awfully handsome, little man. There we go. Anybody shows up, they'll be graced by cute cat sitting on couch. Ah. There we go. Let's get that cat cam up. Read that open. And let's pull up the kitty cam. Yeah, there we go. Okay. This. Yeah, there's your handsome little man. Yeah, you're such a good boy. You're looking so regal on your couch. Oh. Change my cat cam. There we go. Done. There we go. Oh, you're so handsome. Yes, you are. Hey, Patrick. Something on Van Gogh. That's cool. Okay, so the only reason that I knew that Vincent van Gogh had an interest in Japanese artwork was because of the anime Samurai Champloo. They had an entire episode based around Van Gogh painting where they kind of dropped that history. It was very interesting to learn. I trust the BCR meeting went well today. I was making arepas. No. Oh wait, I need you to... I don't need you to look pathetic. I need you to look determined, but... What original birthday and frame the walls? I personally do not have any Van Gogh hanging on the walls. But I mean, I also don't have much of any artwork up on my walls right now, because... Well, I'm slow to unpack this time. It's a little weird. Usually I'm completely unpacked within like a month or so. Not this time. I'm like, nope. Okay, iPad, you need to get yourself together. And not fall. There we go. Now I can keep up with the chat. There we go. Even better. I managed to get away with not doing art history in college, like not the standard art history, so I don't know a whole lot about like Van Gogh or any of the masters. That head does not look right. Get rid of that hair first. Hello, Squash. Yes, it is time for the Thursday night stream. And I actually have a cute cat here today, so I can have the cat cam on, because he's not running away. He's being a good boy, sitting on his little couch. And I did share that, okay. Hello, Tim.
Greetings.
Rub the back of the neck. Yeah, that looks much better. Oh boy. You guys get to see me in real time decide. I actually don't like a panel. I'm just gonna redo it. Yeah, Tatsu's wearing it's my old Zeppelin Comics t-shirt. Zeppelin Comics is in Benicia, California, and they just opened a shop in Napa a couple years ago. But the shirt's so worn and messed up that I sacrificed it to make him a little onesie. So he only has to wear it for about one more day, and then he gets to take it off because his incision's healing up pretty nicely. I don't know if you guys can see on camera, but his ankle is shaved. And I think it's stupidly cute. In like a funny, like, oh, you got a boo-boo kind of a way. You sitting up and showing off your onesie, little man. Yeah, work it, Tatsu. Yeah, it's a pretty neat store. I haven't been there in a couple of years, but um, the original owners were super nice. They actually gave me that T-shirt. Uh they found me at WonderCon. They're like, "Hey, we saw that you were here, so we wanted to bring you a T-shirt." I'm like, "Aw, thanks, guys." But last I heard, the owners sold the shop. I don't know who they sold it to, but after they expanded, they guess they cashed out. I mean, good for them. The shop's great. I've done a couple of signings and stuff there. Taught one class. That's when I learned that I really do not like teaching. Like, I don't like teaching kids who are signed up for stuff just because their parents want to get them out of the house for over the weekend. Because the kids did not seem that interested in what it was that I was trying to teach, and it was painfully obvious that their parents just signed them up to be like, "Oh yeah, here's a fun thing that you can do. You like reading manga." And that's dumb. I just, oh well, it's a good thing I did not like that image, because whoops. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna control that. It's just because I fucked that up. No, you're not gonna let me. Well, that's what backup files are for. I hope I have backup files. Well, I didn't save it, so I guess I can just start. Can't save. Oh, phew. Okay, there we go. And I just... I'm so smart. SMNT smart. Smart, 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 smart. The Rosengard, welcome! Squash and Patrick just got to watch me come up with a sketch that I was half decent okay with, and then draw it on the wrong or shit. Like, I squished everything down to the wrong layer, and then went to paste the image into, or the sketch into the old file, accidentally Control C instead of Control V, lost the sketch that I just did. So I get to do that again. I'm so smart. I'm a professional artist. People pay me to draw stuff and to draw it well, and then I do stuff like that. Well, at least now I kind of know what. I do got this. I don't know what I got something. I caught a case of the stupid. Screen, why did you do that? Hey, the gang's here. All we're missing is enchilada. Oh, and Genie. And then all the regulars will be here. No, don't need to do a secondary sketch. I just need to fix the sketch that I'm working on now. Mother. I can't. There we go. No, that nose is too pointy. No, you're getting comfy, Tatsu. Yeah, you're a good boy. Look at that good little man. He's like, could you just let me sleep and stop talking to me? I can't help it, Tatsu. You're being cute. I actually don't like that nose. Yeah, why won't your face face? Yeah, he does a good little curl. He's a little curly cute. I love you, Tatsu. Shut up. Oh my god. In true ADHD fashion, I forgot that I made myself tea. So I brought myself out, or I made myself a virgin Moscow mule. So now I got a hot drink and a cold drink. I think the problem is I just don't like his jaw. There we go. I think that's it. I just gotta lower his. There, that fixed it. Dang, that's all it took. Yeah, it's tea and stream time. This is as close to a tea party as we're gonna get. Who's got the finger sandwiches? I don't think a rapist count. Little fanglies. Oh, that's why his head looks weird. yeah, at least once a week. Once a week, my hand just forgets how to listen to brain. It's like when you get a new coworker and you're trying to train them. And they're like, no, I got this. Does everything that you told them not to do. And it's like, dang. I drew this on the right panel, right? Yes, I did. Perfect. I locked that, so I can't. Love the Moscow Mule. Whether it's got vodka or not, delicious. Oh, it's massive. I swear to God I can draw. Yeah, actually draws, I'm probably having that moment right now where it's like, hand, do the thing. We can do this. We have the skills. We've trained for this. It's not that difficult. It's like, no, it's actually very difficult. There's a reason there's so many AI bros out there right now. The drawing's too difficult. Only 'cause you're weak. I'm gonna save that before I fuck this up again. Phew, that scared me a little bit. And I can hear Riley screaming out the bathroom window at whoever will listen. He's losing on a little bit. Okay. Actually, I mean, there we go. I forget. Ian is a tall boy. You big boy. And Melina is small. Yeah, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and draw a picture, damn it. I think that's good enough. Alright, let's go in there and do some line art. There, that's gonna be my new way for calling out AI people. Like, wow, so brave of you to admit how weak you are. Pens in hand, sticks out butts. Okay, let's. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna just. That nose not making sound effects while you do the drawing, you're not doing it right. Like, sound effects is what gives it a little oomph. Drawings look stale. Have you tried making noises? I'd apologize for my random art ASMR, but I'm not. You get to suffer. Except for Tim, because Tim was smart and put on headphones, but... yeah. Oh my god, that whole thing's so stupid, like... it would not have gotten that much, like, negative, attention from a bunch of other people if the dude had just not emailed me. Cause I have this stupid thing that I do where when somebody emails me something, especially if they're like, yeah, hey, I messed up, whatever, be like, okay, you messed up. Acknowledging it's the first step. Cool. Here is all the ways that you can make this better and put your show on the pathway to like actually having a good show. Chico needs a good show. But what made me do my my recent Blue Sky posting and everything was my buddy and friend of the pod, HV Voice, or Jess, as some of you may know her. She was the one that got blocked, and he emailed her too. And when she sent a response similar to mine, because of course we're gonna share responses back and forth, because this is just too, like, oh my god. But the response that she got this morning was very it came off as dismissive. Honestly, looking at all the different emails and stuff that we got from this dude, definitely written by ChatGPT. Just like probably not even an original response. And I spent like an hour writing out an email yesterday, just detailing all the ways that they could make this better, and it's fallen on deaf ears. But then just the, how do I describe this email that this dude sent to Jess? It was basically very dismissive of like, oh yeah, we hear you, but we're not going to take anything you say into consideration for this year, because we want to remain loyal to the people who are supporting us now. And I was just like, okay, no, like, before it was just like minor annoyance of like, oh look, another convention doing AI stuff, but then they started doing like the shady deleting comments and everything. It was just like, no, now you're on blast. And not even that much on blast. I am not a super popular artist by any stretch of the imagination. But what I do have is some fans and friends that are in the Chico area, and they would not want to support something like that. So I'm like, you know what, here, just so you guys know, this is going on. Make your own decisions, but I, for one, will not be making the trek out for this show, even though I was pretty down for the idea for it until I realized that it had nothing but AI art, and the showrunner was butthurt enough by negative feedback that would delete stuff from other people. I was getting major Pensacon vibes which, if nobody's familiar with the Pensacon debacle from last year, it was really a thing about, oh yeah, like, I was tempted to share the email just because it had good in my opinion, it had good information just for anybody who is interested in running a convention and thinking like, oh, well, I was thinking of using AI art. And like, well, you could, but this is exactly what artists think of when they see AI art. Or, sorry, I try not to say AI art. Gen AI images. When they see Gen AI images in your promo, this is the feelings that is elicited in them. You may not have meant for that to happen, but that's exactly what happens when you cheap out and use these programs. And that's not even mentioning like the just the environmental impacts. You know what? For funsies, I'm gonna read the I'm gonna at least read like one part that I thought was particularly like, God, that email's so long. But yeah, one of the things that he wrote to me in the first one was like, the AI art we used was just meant to help get the ball rolling. And so I asked, when were you actually planning to stop using the Gen AI images? Had nobody asked or called for it or called it out online? It's just like, no answer to that, but let's see. So I had mentioned about, there are a number of things that myself and others take into consideration when deciding to be a part of any kind of convention, big or small. The convention scene is incredibly small, and everybody in the different circles knows each other to some degree. And we talk about conventions a lot, especially when it comes to what shows to attend or avoid. There are a number of red flags that we keep an eye out for that will decide whether or not a show is worth attending or avoiding. The first big red flag is in promotion. If the show uses already pre-existing IP images to draw people in simply because, oh, if this character's on the promo, people will want to come. Now with Gen AI, showrunners think that they have found the quickest way to make promo that's eye-catching and quote-unquote original to draw attendees in. Both of these routes give off desperation and cheapness. And I mentioned a local, but it's like the McDonald's conventions where it's one of those conventions that pops up in like every small town. But they don't invite guests. It's just you pay $10 to get into a room to buy merchandise. That's it. But I want to talk about that one. Like, given the choice between attending Ohana Comic Con, any Ohana show for that matter, that happens to be in the same town as me, and I could walk there, or I could drive an hour away to a little convention put on by the Antioch High School anime club, based on promo alone, I'm gassing up the car and going to AsaiCon in Antioch. By the way, AsaiCon is a fantastic little show. The students do an amazing job running the event with their teachers. 10/10 recommend. I'll talk more about AsaiCon because I've got a couple of good stories about AsaiCon. I haven't been there in a long time, but it's a show that's put on by the high school anime club, and they use it as a way for them to learn how to run events and stuff, because they can use that as a career when they get older, and it's great. And I'll talk about more of that later. Side note, Ohana Comic Con promo relies heavily on pre-existing IP, Batman, Spider-Man, Goku, etc. We call these shows cookie cutter conventions because it's the same thing every time at every location, and I don't know a single creative who actually exhibits or attends these shows, and most of my circle avoid these shows, and even as attendees. And Ohana Comic Con, just so you guys can see what it is I'm talking about with the convention images and stuff. So I'm gonna open that one and that one. There's so many to pick from. I'm trying not to overwhelm it. Okay. Copy image. Okay, so these are this is their promo. And I have, like, I'm dunking on a different convention right now, but I want to see, ooh, copy paste. And they're, no, not Blender. I keep accidentally opening Blender. I'm not ready to use Blender yet. It scares me. Copy image. Okay, so that one I gotta make a little bit bigger, but yeah, they just put pre-existing stuff in there. It's cheap. So where I go from there is shows that use Gen AI as their promo elicit the same feelings of avoidance in myself and other creatives who are in the con circuit, especially when the shows don't own up to using AI images. It comes across as sneaky and deceptive. I've already had bad experiences with shows that were trying to be sneaky and deceptive way before Gen AI was a thing. And if I get that feeling from a show, I am avoiding it and telling others to avoid it so they don't even have a chance of having to deal with the baggage that shows like that have. It may not have been CapX's intention, but that is the feelings that it facilitated. Fuck those clankers. I love that. That's great. But yeah, it's... You want people to not take your show seriously and think like, oh, there's not going to be anything worth my time here. Use AI. That is the quickest way to get people to be like, eh. And like, you don't even have to, well, artists, we pick up on this stuff quickly because we've been trained to look for, well, not look for, but we've been trained for, like, what is good design. And so AI does not have that knowledge. And so they spit out stuff that's like anatomically incorrect, has multiple appendages, like 2 sinks or whatever.
3 sources of light.
3 sources of light. That's like the biggest bullshit thing is 3 sources of light. But yeah, with that convention, I wasn't rude or anything. I just told him like, hey, this is like I want this for Chico. I want Chico to have a show, but Chico deserves like a good show. And for what I'm seeing right now, this is not a good show. And how the heck do I draw his eyebrows again? Okay, do I have a copy of EC here? Oh, I'm sorry, Tatsu. I didn't mean to scare you. I forgot which way I draw my character's eyebrows. And I'm being too lazy to open the file up. Ugh, I'll open the file up. So yeah, that's the drama right now. It's just not even drama, it's just like I'm not mad or anything with any of these people. Like, I have no ill will. I'm just confused, and I'm trying to think of the right words. But right now I need to be focusing on inking this thing, because I'm going to be able to finish 2 pages tomorrow, and that makes me happy. May not be as quick as the computer generating bros, but you know what? It certainly looks better. I need my book files. There we go. Why is that not in order? Oh wait, I have... I'm smart. I already have a page open. I can just look at it. Okay, Nathan has eyebrows, then Ian has... Oh, that's right. Oh, for sure. Like, they've, the AI that they've been using in, the science field for, like, medications and, like, cancer detection and stuff like that, like, That's great. I want more of that. Cancer runs in my family, so I would love to know about it sooner than later. Ooh. Oh no, Mama's got the zoomies. Okay, and I'm officially tired of standing, so I'm gonna sit in my chair. Okay, you're gonna hear a weird buzzing noise. It's my desk coming back down because I got one of those electric standing desks because I really need to be standing and like standing and sitting and doing all that, but I'm lazy and I sit. And half the time I forget that my desk goes up and down. And of course I gotta put the lap blankie on because lap blankie is warm in this cold office. Okay. Hell yeah. Yeah, the extra funny... Okay, the thing that cracks me up about that whole thing is the dude offered me tickets. Not once, but twice. And, like, I wasn't gonna reply after that, but then after Jess told me about her reply, I emailed back and I was just like, this show is not... Like, this is paraphrasing what I wrote, but it's basically something along the lines of, like, this show is not worth... In its current form, is not worth the 3-hour drive. No, thank you. Oh, that eye is funky. Oh, actually, I really should be... Let's flip this vertically. There we go. Oh, no, that was not what I wanted. Oh yeah, the Dude Bros AI is about to get way more expensive, especially since America is not making the hardware necessary for them. There we go, that's what I wanted. There we go. Now I can see all my anatomy mess-ups. Your jawline is like way too big. Yeah, I do good. Excuse me, I'm concerned about the worm that's piloting the mech suit known as JFK Jr. or RFK Jr. Okay, I have shared this joke with like everybody who I know of. Well, pretty much everybody that I know is on the spectrum because we all kind of like find each other. It's pretty great. Like RFK wants to put people with ADHD and autism in wellness camps, and somebody on Reddit called them lack of concentration camps. I died. I died, and now I'm in this hell. But yeah. Brain slug representative from Futurama. My god, I haven't watched Futurama in so long. Yeah, I think that's like the biggest weakness with these people is just they do not like being laughed at and ridiculed. So therefore, it's our American duty to ridicule and make fun of them. And for anybody else who is here, and I don't know if you're even listening, but if you're here and you don't live in the U.S., this is how we cope. What's going on in the U.S.? Chaos. And we're functioning through memes. At least that's how I'm kind of functioning. Fun fact, I barely function. Ha. Yeah, it's a little better. Oh, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to watch the final Insidious tonight?
Oh, that'd be fun.
We're at the last of that series. Finally. Although I don't know if Patrick Wilson's gonna show up again, but I still do not like that sunburn. Sideburn, not a sunburn. Oh yeah, that's like my biggest. That's one of my biggest worries is because like, I got in 2023. I got to go to 2 different countries. It was great. I went to. I went to Canada. Canada is basically like America Light. But I went to Toronto, and I really liked it, and I would love to go back. Actually, I would love to check out British Columbia, because I was in Toronto for a comic show, and British Columbia has one very similar to the one that was in Toronto. And then, like 6 months later, I went to Japan, and that was amazing. And I want to go back, but I'm kind of worried that I'm going to go to these places and like, oh, what's wrong with the U.S.? Be like, bro, I don't even know. I just came here for the anime. Oh, also the delicious, delicious food. My god, I miss Japanese food in Japan. If for some reason anybody here ends up going to Japan, like, in the near future, yakiniku like. Loved it. 10 out of 10 recommend. It's one of those places where, like, because I was traveling by myself. So it is a place where you sit at your own little booth, you got your own little water spigot, and so you can pour yourself water whenever you want, and you got your grill in front of you, and you order everything from an iPad, and then a server brings it to you on a tray, and you cook your food yourself. And I didn't interact with anybody unless they were bringing me my food, and then when I was going to check out. But the best part for me was they played music in there, and the only music that they played was like 90s to early 2000s American rock music. So I was vibing along to AC/DC, Metallica, Nickelback. And for any of the haters out there, Nickelback has some good songs. I would not call myself a Nickelback fangirl, but I do appreciate a few of their songs. Yeah, so they have a little thing where it's like, each little food station has your own water hookup. So they have cups there that you can grab a cup and get yourself some water from the little spigot. Kind of like a soda machine, but water. And then there's like a little drawer at your place that you're sitting, and it has chopsticks and forks and like extra packets of sauces and stuff like that. Oh, Lee showed me Pissed Off Bartender. Love that guy. Let's see. Oh, the Insidious series. Oh, so Insidious, like the first movie, excellent. Like, pretty much no notes. Second movie was decent. Third was okay, but third was a prequel. And then, the fourth one I was not as impressed with, and I felt kind of bad for that because it was, Patrick Wilson, the actor, who plays the dad in the movies, Josh Lambert, he also played, Ed Warren in the Conjuring series. And the thing that I was not prepared for was learning that he played the Count de Chauny, in the, what was it, the, like, 2004, Phantom of the Opera movie? So, that was a trip to learn. But yeah, Patrick Wilson, the fourth Insidious movie was his directorial debut, and it was an okay movie. That's it. Of the Insidious movies so far, it is my least favorite. And I did not know that there was another one that came out, like, recently. But I picked that one up because it was at the library. It's Insidious, The Last Key, so I'm hoping it's the last movie. And, yeah, we're gonna watch the final one tonight, so I'll be able to, like, definitively rank them out. Be like, okay, this is my recommendation, or this is my, my ranking for the Insidious movies. Best one is this. Worst one, this, and here's why. But no, the first one was really good. I was unprepared for how good that movie was when me and Tim first watched it last year. Yeah, yeehaw, fuck the law. Just, I need that on a patch. I don't know if the guy sells merch or not, but I might just make myself a sticker. Just, like, I don't need to sell it. I just need that as a sticker. Bust out my Cricut. Make yeehaw, fuck the law. I was thinking, yay, I might finish page on stream. Looks at the first panel of Ian and be like, oh, no, baby, we gotta fix you. Your face is funky. Let's fix that. That one YouTuber that I'm always talking about and bringing videos up, because YouTube recommends a lot of his videos, and he's been doing YouTube for like 6-7 years, so I haven't even nearly caught up with all the videos. But Rono Gaming, he has one that he has a catchphrase. He says it's a "stay strapped or get clapped." I'm like, I love that. Thank you. I'm adding that to my repertoire. Stay strapped, get clapped, or stay strapped or get clapped. Oh, screen printing's so much fun. I haven't done it in a very long time, but oh, fun fun, because I got a story for everything. Fun story regarding screen printing. So, years ago, like maybe a decade ago, my dad's friend in Oregon was telling him, like, hey, I got all this screen printing stuff that I bought. He had a warehouse, like, not a warehouse, but he had, like, a professional screen printing setup, like, for 4Station, everything that you would need for it. And, he was like, yeah, I don't use it, and the wife's kind of tired of it. If you drive out here, if you drive up to Oregon and bring a U-Haul, you can have it. So my dad was like, okay, bet. And he drove to Oregon with a U-Haul and brought all this screen printing stuff back to the house, because he was like, okay, Melissa. Cause my family's real big on why pay somebody else to do something that you can just learn to do yourself. So my dad brought back all this screen printing stuff, and it was like easily 10 to 20 grand worth of screen printing stuff for t-shirts and prints and stuff like that. And so my dad's like, yeah, we're gonna make t-shirts. And then it's just been sitting in the garage for the last decade. And now that we are, me and Tim are in a house, because before my dad was like, yeah, you can have this stuff, because I'm not using it, it's taking up space. Like, we don't have a house yet. But now that we're in a house and we have a workshop, we have space for a screen printing workshop. So my dad said, okay, let me know when you get the workshop emptied out for it. I'll bring it down, and I'll bring you this giant freezer too. So we're gonna get a 4Station screen printing workshop in the next couple of months. So we will be able to do screen printing. So that'll be cool. Oh heck yeah, being able to like build your own stuff's way cool. And I haven't worked on my enclosures in the last 2 days because I've been working on my comic, my poor neglected comic, which is good because, well, I decided to make a webcomic, and webcomics demand consistency. I was gonna talk about AsaiCon. So AsaiCon is this little convention in Antioch, California. Fun fact: Antioch once had the reputation for one of the most dangerous cities in California. But the show is put on by the Antioch High School Anime Club, and the teachers help them put on the show AsaiCon every year, and it's used as a way to prep the students in learning how to manage events. And I believe they get credit towards like work experience or something, or like it's a good thing on a portfolio for when you go to college, and it's like, oh, you have experience in event planning. That's great. But they actually put on a good show for being high schoolers. Like, you would think, oh, high school show, this is gonna be a clusterfuck. But no, they actually put on a decent show. I haven't been there since 2017 or 18. It's been a long time since I've been there. Granted, a couple of those years, I was living on the East Coast, but oh yeah, Antioch was considered real danger, and I have a story about that. So yeah, AsaiCon, pretty decent show. Recommend. I would actually, I want to try exhibiting there again, because I haven't exhibited there in a while. Also, their tables are cheap, which With the state of conventions right now, convention tables are not cheap. I remember the good old days when tables were... My first SAC anime table was $60. It is now over $300 to exhibit there. If you also if you got hobbies or you do any sort of community work. Oh yeah, I put D&D, like DMing D&D games on my resume, for my adult people jobs. So it's called Asahi Con, like the beer. It's ASAHI Con. Oh yeah, my in my resume I put God, what did I put? I put that I was a project manager that facilitated weekly team building exercises that employed inventory keeping, financial records, and team meeting, stuff like that. I made it. I turned D&D into corporate speak. And even like, so when I was updating my resume, I did that at my last job working in Vacaville. The fact that I played D&D, like just D&D the game, like I didn't have to fancy it up or anything. They're like, oh, that's really cool. Can you do something with the kids? Kids loved it. And I showed that you could successfully run a D&D campaign for kindergartners. My kinder babies loved D&D, and I loved running it for them. Although I did have one kid that kind of turned out to be a murder hobo. Was a little concerning because he was also the nicest, sweetest kid ever. Like, Johnny, I miss you. You were a great kid. That kid's probably in middle school now. I'm old. Oh hell yeah, it's all in the wording. But yeah, so AsahiCon, great show, recommend. Probably not worth coming to out of state for, but if you live in the Bay Area, it is worth checking out. Support the teeny boppers. And so, the last AsahiCon that I went to, and this was not the reason I stopped going to AsahiCon. I stopped going to AsahiCon because just a lot of bigger shows that I was getting into were on the same weekend as AsahiCon, and it would come down to like, am I gonna make enough to justify doing this show? And half the time, like, at one point I got into SakuraCon, which was amazing. I would love to go back to SakuraCon. That was in Seattle. I made back all of my expenses the first hour of the show, and that never happens for me, so. Yes. Yes. I know they're high schoolers, but I'm at the age now where high schoolers are teeny boppers. They all look like teeny boppers! Like, I was looking through my yearbook recently from high school, and, like, they look like adults. And then the kids that are in high school now that, like, I meet at shows and stuff like that, they look like middle schoolers. And I'm confused by this. But yeah, I call anybody younger than me a teeny bopper.
You should look at a yearbook from the 70s.
They
all look like adults.
It's because of all that smoking.
Mm.
Sneaking cigarettes in the bathroom. Teeny boppers, younglings, I am a granny. Okay. I don't say granny because I don't intend on ever having kids, but I am the wine aunt. I am everybody's Auntie Mel. I'm the one that shows up with the bottle of vodka and just like, okay, kids, I'm gonna teach you how to annoy your parents. This is called a recorder, and you start playing it when you see your parents getting all lovey-dovey. So yeah, a SciCon. Not a bad show. So the last one that I went to was my first lockdown con. And if nobody knows what a lockdown con is, it's when the convention gets locked down or locked out. I have been to, God, how many lockdown cons? Okay, I've done one. A SciCon was my lockdown con. Snafu Con was a lockout con because somebody pulled a. Well, and technically that would be a. I've done 3 lockouts and 1 lock-in. So, you know what I mean by that is, so this was a SciCon like 2017, 2018, something like that. I can't remember the exact year. I was doing a SciCon with my friend Liz and our friend Erica. Squash, you know Erica. So we were exhibiting at the show and we were doing panels together. So me and Erica had just finished a panel and we were about to do another one. So this convention is held at the high school, like the Antioch High School. And so for that year, the Artist Alley and Vendor Room was the library, or the school library, and the hallway connected to that library and the admissions office. So that was, we had lockers behind us and our tables in front of us. So while we were planning for our second panel, because we had panels back to back, somebody bursts into our door, so I forgot to mention this part. The whole reason I brought that up was because the panels were in classrooms, so we got to use like the projector and stuff. And so, the Olympia story, you know the Olympia story. There we go. We're prepping for our second panel. Somebody like opens the door and just like quickly pokes their head in. They had urgency on their face, and they're like, shut the door and lock it. Somebody's been stabbed. And so we're like, what? And so we look out. So I go to the door because my dad has kind of raised me to be that person. Like I got my hunting license at 10. I took a couple of different like self-defense classes and stuff, and also my dad was just very much like you need to be prepared for anything to go wrong, and if anything goes wrong, you need to be able to like defend and like protect and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, cool, bet. And I'm really sorry to leave you guys in suspense, but I have to go to the bathroom, and I hear the cat being dumb, so I'm gonna take a quick emergency break because I was not expecting my stomach to punch my esophagus. Where is my thing? This is good. I'll leave you guys in suspense and then come back and finish the story for those who have no idea what I'm talking about. Where's my little doodle? I need to make this just like an actual break time thing. Alright. I will be right back. I am back. I survived. Okay, so I was talking about a SciCon, and so we had just had somebody burst into our room and be like, close and lock the doors. Somebody's been stabbed. We're like, what? Okay. So I check out the door and I see people rushing to get into the room or to get into like any room, any of the classrooms that were open, into like the main hallway where all the art study tables and stuff were, and I noticed we start like motioning people to come into our God, what's it called? Into our classroom. It was like, hey, you come in here, you come here, because we're the closest one. And there's this older guy who is arguing with a food vendor who sold like corn dogs and lumpia, and so the dude is like arguing with the food vendor, and he's got somebody next to him who's in crutches and their leg is in a cast, and the vendor is like, dude, I gotta go, and the other guy's like, I want my lumpia. And so, dude, okay, you know what? The dude won, though. He got his lumpia. And so I, like, motioned for them to come into our classroom and stuff. And so, they make it in. For the sake of this story, I'm gonna say that this guy is, the person on the crutch's dad. Because they were traveling together, and I'm making an assumption right now for the sake of the story. So they come in, Dad's got his corn dogs and lumpia, and everybody else is just like, oh, what's going on? This is like, they say somebody got stabbed. Well, that's not good. And I'm pretty okay in a crisis. Not something I thought I'd ever say about myself, but like I can't handle a phone call. Like, I had to call the state of California today to handle something. My chest gets tight. Lee hurt herself so bad that okay, she didn't hurt herself so bad. She misstepped and really badly scratched the back of her heel on the brick steps that we have in the house, because she was holding a cat, and the way that she landed on her foot and the scraping, it put her into shock. Like, she had to lay on the floor, her face went pale and stuff, and she's fine now. Like, we were laughing about it the next day, just like, oh man, that was scary, but, like, when it happened, I just like, okay, this is what needs to get done, and just jumped into the first aid training that I took years ago. So yeah, when the situation at SciCon happened, I was I was not freaking out. I was just like, okay, this is what we gotta do. And my buddy Erica, same. Like we were raised different. So I'm like, oh, so we're both just like, okay, Erica, you take that door, I take this door, and Erica's like, oh, I left my knife back at the table. Oh, here you go. I toss her the knife that I had in my pocket. I had a stun gun with me, or a stun pew-pew, but it doesn't actually pew-pew. Whatever's not gonna get YouTube to be like, oh, are you plotting something? Like, no, I'm not. I'm telling a story that happened, like, almost a decade ago. Like, we're locked and loaded, because we're in Antioch. And, so everybody else is just kind of like keeping chill, and so I'm watching one door and Erica's watching another, because despite them saying to close and lock the doors, because the U.S. has a real problem with schools and people getting into them, or people not being able to escape them, these doors were not locked. So and they had it set to where the doors could not be locked. Unless you had a special key. So we could not lock or barricade the door. So Erica took one door, I took another, and we just we stood there, and everybody was of the understanding that if somebody tries to get into this room that is not supposed to be in this room, they were going to have a horrible time. And what cracked me up was the kid who had their leg in a cast, and their dad. Dad had the tray of corn dogs and lumpia in one hand, holding one of the kid's crutches, and the kid had the other crutch, and they were ready to start swinging with those things if they needed to. And eventually, some staff member of the show came to get us. And so, because we were, there weren't that many people that were like spread out throughout the school, but we happened to be one of the few groups that had to shelter in place instead of going to the main area. And so, so they come and get us. Erica's taking the front, I'm taking the back, we're armed, and we're walking with purpose. And we have all the other people in the room, they're between the two of us. Their Rainbow Mel's not on my bingo card? I'm full of surprises! And so we get into the, main hallway, where everybody else is, and so my boyfriend at the time was there, and I'm checking in with him, and he just like, how are things going? Oh yeah, we're fine. This and this. I had, I had an arsenal on me, and so everybody in the hallway is like, people were not freaking out, which was really nice to see. You know, as nice as weird as it is to say for what somebody got stabbed, but like, people were just like, okay, well, this will get sorted out, and like we'll get an update on what's going on soon. And because we were in the main area of the convention, people were just like milling about and hanging out. I had a TV with me, because I like to draw sometimes at the events. It's a lot easier now that I have an iPad, but before I would tote around my laptop and drawing tablet. So I had my TV set up, and it's one of those small TVs that has a built-in DVD player, and the people next to us, because they didn't have like a proper vendor hall. It's a swap meet table. You can sell whatever. So it's mostly a lot of teenagers, like selling their old anime and whatever. So the table next to me had some anime DVDs that they were selling, and so I was about to be like, hey, go see if they maybe want to take one of their DVDs and put it on the TV, and people can just hang out at the table and like watch some anime while we're stuck here. But before we could do that, staff members came walking down the hall, and like you could tell this dude had major math teacher energy. But like the cool math teacher energy, like the math teacher where you're just like, hey, I love that teacher, Mr. J, he's cool, whatever. So this guy comes down, walking down the hallway, and he's got one of those loudspeakers, and so he tells us that, what had happened. So what had happened was, so the way that the school area is set up, the high school is on one side of the street, and then across the street is the middle school. And the middle school, the part of the middle school that's closest to the road where the high school is, it's like a field. That's where they do like PE and stuff. So, and this was on the weekend. This happened on a Saturday. So a bunch of teenagers and like some young adults were hanging out in the field of the middle school when the 16-year-old, like, there was some fight broke out or whatever, and the 16-year-old girl that was hanging out there got stabbed. And the person that did the stabbing left the scene and ran across the field, and I'm assuming there was a fence there, jumped the fence and was crossing the road towards the high school. And that's why we got put onto lockdown, was because it got called out that the dude was running towards the high school. So the dude was running across the street to go to the high school, and before he could get across the road, got hit by a car. And the driver of the car drove off. So it was a hit and run. It was a stab, hit, and then run. And so while the math teacher was explaining all that, he was okay. I don't know if he was a math teacher. He just had math teacher vibe. So when the teacher finished explaining that, like everybody's clapping, is like, "Woo, yeah, the culprit got like he got arrested and stuff." So like he was wounded enough for the cops to show up and arrest him. And so when the guy explained the story, he had a bunch of like teenage staff members with him, and so one of them like just starts like smacking his arm, like, "Give me the horn, give me the horn, give me the horn." And he takes the loudspeaker and goes, "It was karma!" Hallway erupts into laughter, and the entire time that this was going on, somebody who was exhibiting at the event had a button maker with them and started making and selling Lockdown Con like 2017 badges, and was handing them out for free to the vendors, and then was charging like $1 for anybody else who wanted one. And just like, I respect the hustle, my dude. But yeah, karma. Dude got hit by a car. Oh, and update the story, because I did end up looking up this story later because I wanted to see what happened to the kid that got stabbed. She got airlifted to a hospital and survived. So I hope she's alive and well. But yeah, that was that was like my first lockdown convention. Yeah, Lockdown Con. And then after that, I started like ending up involved with like more lockdown conventions or lockout conventions. So Snafu Con might have been 2016. No, when did I start going to Snafu Con? Okay, this one I think was Snafu Con 2017. 2017 or 2018. It was right after AsaiCon, so I can't remember. I've been doing conventions for so long, guys. So I was. Why does Ian look so weird? I'll have to fix that. Anyways, so SnafuCon is a show in Reno, Nevada. I recommend that one also. I was actually, I was a guest there, back in 2019, and I would love to be a guest at that show again. They treated their guests amazingly. I had never been treated as nice as AsaiCon, or as a SnafuCon treated me. Just invite me back, SnafuCon, I miss you. So anyways, SnafuCon's pretty cheap to go to because Reno is just a cheap place to visit, and so the convention was at the Nugget Casino at the time, and so we got a really good rate on rooms. So like me and a bunch of friends just we booked a room, and then we all just like we shared the room because it's cheaper that way. And so at like 2 or 3 in the morning, the fire alarm goes off, and so we start evacuating. And a problem with what was going on with that was we had a friend with us who has a seizure disorder, and so the flashing lights and the loud noise, we were afraid was going to trigger a seizure in them. So we're guiding our friend, because like we couldn't use elevators, so we're guiding our friend down. God, I think we were on like the 8th or 9th floor, something like that. Luckily we weren't on the super high floors because Reno has very tall casinos. What handsome? You're being so cute. So fire alarm goes off, and we make it down to the parking lot. And this show is in October. Reno in October is cold. And so we are just sitting out in the parking lot waiting for answers. Like, is there a fire? Uh, like, what's going on? When can we go back into our rooms? Are we gonna be, like, sent to a different hotel? Luckily, like I said, little prepper Mel raised to think ahead and stuff. I always keep an emergency blanket or something akin to that in my car, and my car just happened to be parked relatively close to where we were staying. So I went to my car and I got us out like a couple of the blankets, and we all just kind of like cuddled under one blanket for warmth because it was there was a little bit of snow on the ground. It was cold, and so we finally got we were allowed to go back into our rooms and stuff, and come to find out that there was so here's another thing. SnafuCon at the time, I don't know if that's changed since it's now at a convention center, but at the time, SnafuCon was a 24-hour convention. There was something always going on. If you could not sleep at like 2 or 3 in the morning, you could go to a panel, or you can go down to the video game area and play some of the video games or do a tournament or something. Always something to do. And so there was an attendee who got really, really drunk. So this is like, I should say this, I do not know for sure that this is what happened. This is what I had heard happened from some friends who are friends with staff members. So it's like friends of friends. So dude got drunk and was being wily, and the convention revoked his badge and kicked him out. So when he left the convention, he pulled the fire alarm for the casino, and it put the entire casino into lockout. Needless to say, I think that guy just got perma-banned from, like, every event in Reno. Or at least I hope that he did, because that was a real dick move, dude. And then SAC Anime has had the fire alarm go off, like, twice that I've been there. Once was because, like, I heard a couple of different, reasons of why the fire alarm went off at a SAC Anime. God, and the fire alarm goes off at SAC Anime like every other year, so it's like I can't even remember what year it was exactly. No, wait, I can, because I had one of the things that I brought with me when we evacuated the convention was I brought my my convention commission sign, because I had just drawn it and I was super proud of it, and I did not want it to get destroyed or stolen. So that would have been SAC Anime 2018, and then I think it was SAC Anime 2017 was the first time it happened. So SAC Anime 2017-ish, the fire alarm went off. Oh, and the extra dumb thing with all these SAC Animes and the fire alarm going off, it's always during the December show. The December show when it is pouring rain outside, and so we have to evacuate into the busy streets of Sacramento with the just absolutely pouring down rain everywhere. So SAC Anime 2017, we evacuate, and just like, okay, what happened? And I heard chatter from a bunch of different people, and I was friends with some, again, friends of staff, because I only knew like 2 staff members at SAC Anime, and last I heard, they no longer staff the convention. But anyways, so rumor that was going around for that show was that somebody was smoking in the convention bathroom, and that triggered the fire alarm. The other thing or the other possibility that was suggested was that some people were prepping their costumes for the masquerade in the bathroom, and one of the costumes had um, had like a little smoke machine aspect to it, and when they were testing that, that set the fire alarm off. And honestly, I believe either one of those could have happened. Um, and then the next year, the fire alarm went off and we had to evacuate into the rain. And that one, we actually got a, we got like an exact reporting of what had happened. And what had happened was, because the convention started bringing in outside food vendors, and one of them was a kettle corn stand. And the kettle corn stand was cooking their popcorn in the convention, and they happened to be put near a smoke detector, and the kettle corn stage vendor set the fire alarm off. And then I think I forgot. So I went to that convention that I was at in Toronto. That one had the fire alarm go off, and nobody was sure why the fire alarm went off. Oh, also, by the way, Canadian fire alarms superior to American fire alarms, because American fire alarms here are loud and just unnecessarily loud. It gives me a headache and it throws me into a panic every time. The one for at the Canadian Public Library, it had like a light that would flash, but it wouldn't flash like an annoying flash like in America. It would just be like a slow like booling, booling, and while it's flashing like that, it is all the sound of the alarm is basically like doing that. It's just a very like kind of, it was very chill, very like booling, booling. A fire has been detected in the area. Please evacuate calmly. Booling, booling. And we just do that. I'm like, okay, cool, I can vibe with that. So, when I'm exhibiting at shows, I rarely leave my table. Partly because I forget to just take breaks, and partly because every time I leave my table, that's when people show up looking for me or wanting to buy something that they want a signature on or whatever. And so I'm like, if I leave, I might miss someone. And so, so the fire alarm goes off, I had been behind my table most of the day, and so Lee, who was there helping me, was like, hey, you have not taken a break. You need to leave the table. Like, I got kicked out from my table. She's like, no, you need to leave. Go do something. Go make friends. Go buy stuff. I'm like, fine, damn, thanks. And of course, she sends me away. Fire alarm goes off. I'm like, oh shit, well, I should get back to my table. And as I was getting back to my table, some people were, like, everybody was trying to evacuate out the main doors. So, and everybody was really respectable. Like, nobody was panicking, nobody was freaking out. Everybody was just calmly and collectively filing out the door to... Man, I still don't like that face. What the hell? So everybody's calmly leaving. And I'm going back to my table to meet up with Lee so I can grab my, like, my till and stuff. And as I'm walking past an emergency door, some people decide, oh, I'm not going to walk down that hallway. I'm going to go out this emergency door. And when they go out the emergency door, that triggered an American-like alarm that would not stop and was just going like, just would not stop. Loud, and it happened to go off right next to me. And for anybody who does not know, I have an anxiety disorder. And I don't mean like, oh, I have anxiety. No. I have, when I have an anxiety or a panic attack, my body shuts down. And the trippiest part of it is I am, like, I'm not panicking or anything. I have my wits about me. I can think clearly. I can communicate. Sensory overload. There we go. I'm very prone to sensory overload. And so, while when this alarm went off, my body shut down. I could not walk. The best I could do was cover my ears, and I happened to be near a pillar, so I kind of leaned against the pillar and I just kind of slid down, covering my ears, and like my body starts shaking. I can't talk. That's the worst part of it. Is whenever I have a bad enough reaction like that, I go nonverbal. Nonverbal is not fun because I can think and I want to talk, but brain and mouth no worky. So I'm sitting there like trying to get back to my table. I'm also super embarrassed because people are like, "Oh no, what's wrong with this person? They're freaking out," and trying to help. But like, the thing I hate the most with it is people saying like, "It's okay, it's okay. You don't need to be like scared or anything." It's like, I'm not scared. My body is literally freaking out, but I myself am not. Luckily, because people saw that I was in a crisis, Lee was like, "Oh no, that's probably Mel," and so she runs over to get me and try to help me out. And I really need to learn sign language, because if I learned sign language, I would be able to communicate when I go nonverbal. Because the best I can do right now is I do like a real half-assed kind of sign language where I just a lot of pointing and like charading. This one nice lady came up and immediately started like doing like really good sign language at me, trying to communicate, and I'm like, oh no, I can't communicate with this person. And then there was this other lady who like bent down and she kind of got into my face a little, like she grabbed the sides of my head to get me to focus looking at her. Not the best thing to do. I have at least one friend that happened to recently, and that triggered a PTSD response that was really traumatic. And by traumatic, I mean for everybody involved, including them. But luckily, I don't have that. That is not, of the many things that's wrong with me, that is not one of them. But it doesn't help with the like. It doesn't help with the calming down when somebody's grabbing my face. But she pulled out her AirPods and put them into my ear for me and starts playing like calming music, and like that's when I learned that I will never buy AirPods, because those things do not have the like sound blocking capabilities. I was better off with my hands covering my ears than I was with those little AirPod things. But I respected the wanting to help out. But yeah, so Lee found me, and I have emergency medication that I take for when stuff like this happens. The problem is when I take the emergency medication, it tends to put me to sleep. And it was like 2 o'clock on a Sunday, and I still had like, was it Sunday? No, it was Saturday. It was the first day of the show. So I still had like 4 or 5 hours until the show was done. Somebody, I think with that show, somebody just accidentally pulled the fire alarm. I didn't hear anything about anything malicious or whatever. And so, I'm doing better. I start being able to talk, or at the very least, my hands were shaking less, so I was able to write. Some of the people who were helping me came by to check out my table, because they wanted to check on me, but then they saw that I was a vendor. I was like, oh, you have some cute comics and stuff. So that made me feel a little better. So the best place to have a sensory overload crisis is at TCAF in the Toronto Comics Library, or the Toronto Public Library. Not that I recommend people go and have crises in Toronto, but they treated me very well. Staff came by to check on me. I was offered medical services and stuff. by like an ENT or whatever that showed up, but no, I was good. I just needed my meds in the quiet. Oh, thanks. I only carry myself in conversation when I have something to talk about. Because otherwise, I don't got. I. What word? Can't do. Can't converse. Like, when I do panels and stuff, I do not like doing panels by myself. Unless it's like a big crowd. Because then I can just talk at people. Very good at talking at people. I'm technically talking at people right now. But when it's like, if I'm doing like a panel or something and it's like 1 or 2 people, I suddenly forget how to talk. And it's like, because I think what it is in that respect is, I want to give like a more personalized conversation, and if I don't know somebody, personalized conversation is extremely difficult for me with people I don't know. But man, if I'm doing a panel, if big or small, if I have a panelist to riff with, I'll panels like that are great. That's why I usually try to do a panel with like at least one other person, and typically somebody that I'm familiar with. Although I do pretty good with doing panels with people like I'm not 100% familiar with, but like being able to have somebody to bounce off of helps me greatly. And if it's a friend, I get to pick on him. Tim scoffs because he's usually the one that gets picked on.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help it. You're so easy to pick on.
I become a straight man in front of a crowd. I don't know what happens.
I become a dumbass. Dumbass class clown. Man, I am still not vibing with this. Ian, you've got a weird head. I am not vibing with it. Maybe I just need to fix here. Watch, I'll probably like it better once I get rid of the blue lines. Oh, okay, talking cadence. I never considered that. Well, doing these live streams has definitely helped with that respect too, because, yeah. Literally talking into the void. I'm trying to think if I had any other convention lockdowns or lockouts. They're rare when they happen, but they also happen way more frequently than you would think. Like, the fact that I have one lockdown story is a trick. The fact that I have a couple is concerning. People are going to start thinking that I'm the cause of it. I was talking about SnafuCon earlier. So one of my favorite things about SnafuCon, and I really hope that they still do this, even though they're the convention center now instead of a casino, is SnafuCon does they do a life drawing workshop, and it is 18 plus. You have to have an ID. They will not let you in without one. And it happens at like 11 o'clock at night, because 24-hour convention, they always have something going on. No, I have not considered a clipping stream for short content. Honestly, I don't consider myself a streamer. This is just something fun to do, that I like letting people see what it is I'm working on, but I've never considered myself a streamer. That's why, like, I never, like, really censor myself or do any clipping or stuff. Also, I have no idea how I would do that. I have thought about doing like little story time videos though over like speed draws or like not animating them because that would take way too damn long, but like where it's like the stagnant drawings to kind of illustrate what's going on. Where? Oh my god, it's 8:34. There we go. Oh, look at that cute face. Look at that. This is my good boy. Just such a good boy. I wasn't talking about you, Tatsu. You're a good boy too. I love you. I love you too, little man. That looks so much better. Okay. Yay! I'm still not 100% on that. I think it's because I don't. Oh lord, do I gotta make him bigger? One little man, you're not getting fed for another 25 minutes. I'm sure if you want to, I'll definitely give you credit. I love to pay you, but I don't necessarily like. Sure, if you think that there's a good story from this live stream that you think would make a good short form thing, do it. You have my consent. God, where was I in this story? I forgot what I was even talking about. Tim!
Yo.
What was I talking about?
I'm sorry. I've been on.
You weren't even listening.
I'm putting this thing together.
What was I talking about? My God. Oh, SnafuCon. There we go. Okay. So SnafuCon has a they have a live drawing panel. You have to be 18 or plus or 18 or older to get in, and they do check IDs. And oh, well, that's really cool of you, Draws. And eventually I'm going to draw that great picture of... I keep meaning to, and then I forget. I'm going to write that down on my to-do list. Oh, I already wrote it down on my to-do list. My tablet's just covering it. Okay, so yeah, so the panel, they check ID. They're very strict on that, and they have very strict rules that they go over where once the door closes, that's it. Like, if you leave the room, you cannot get back in. And that's for the model safety and everything. And so how they have the room set up is they have all these these big long tables, and they have them encircle the or they're like on the outer edges of the room, and there's space for chairs and stuff. And then in the center, that's where all the models hang out. Now, the really weird thing about this is the models are usually convention staff members. And I said earlier, this is the live drawing. It's live nude models, which, if you have never taken a nude life drawing class, they are amazing for learning or for just practicing drawing the human form. They're also very expensive. Nude live models, they get paid a pretty penny to stand around and pose for people, as they should. And so the fact that we had volunteer like staff members who were willing to do that is great. And also, it is one of the most fun panels that I've ever been a part of for art. Because if you ever take a life drawing class in college, um, it's very quiet. Like they'll usually play some kind of music or whatever, but it's at least when I was taking life drawing in college, we had very strict rules of like you are not allowed to talk to the model. You are not allowed to basically don't make eye contact with the model either. Um, and it's just like no, you draw the models. You do not try to talk to them. And definitely don't try to flirt with them. Um, Although, funny story, when I was taking that class that class in college, we had this one really handsome model. Like we got all kinds of different models. We had this old lady she'd been modeling for like 40 years. So we had this old lady. We had like a fighter that came in once, so he was like really like tone built. We had a contortionist come in. She was the first one that we had, so she did all kinds of crazy poses and stuff. London, she was this really... I remember because I'd never met somebody with the name London before, but London was one of the best models that we ever had. She was like this... she was this bigger girl, she was this bigger woman who, like... She would talk to the artists during the class, and during breaks, she would put on her robe and she would walk around and like talk to the students and like look at how they were drawing her and stuff. Real nice lady. I hope that she is doing great. I loved having her as a model. So and then we had this other model who we only ever had him once, and his name was Miguel. Only reason I remember his name is because me and my friends in the class just had this. We had this running thing because this guy was very pretty. He was very like he wasn't like super muscular, but he was like toned, and he had a really pretty face. He had like shoujo guy face, but with like facial hair and stuff. And I could probably draw that guy's face from memory. Not perfectly, but like there you guys get to see Miguel. At least a cartoonized version of Miguel. And the thing that I remember the most about just like his face and stuff, or not his face, but like just he had like little tufts of curly hair, and I was like, he looks like an anime character. So like I admire aesthetically beautiful people.
Thank you.
I want to draw them. So yeah, this is Miguel, and so when he showed up and like we were talking, a couple of my friends were they were making some real thirsty comments about Miguel. So whenever we would talk about him, it wasn't like just we would just say his name Miguel. It was Miguel Spanish guitar. Yeah, so very very pretty man, and so like I appreciate aesthetic beauty. I can admit when somebody is pretty, which is gonna make this the continuation of the Snafu Con story like extra funny. So we're doing class and stuff, and Miguel's doing his poses and everything, and so we were working with like 18 by 24 inch sketchbooks and charcoal and so we're doing the sketches and everything, and so I'd be like, sketching on the easel or on the pad on the easel, and then like we have to look to the side, to I have to look to the side to be able to like see what I was drawing. So like that. There. No. So I'd have to do that to be able to look over. And so I I'm drawing this guy, and before this I had never taken a life drawing class before, and so my biggest fear was like, but naked people. I'm way over that now. Like, got another funny story later. I also have like no tact, so I have lost all sense of tact once I got out of college. It's kind of sad. I think. Nope. I think I need to make this boy a little bigger. So yeah, so we're doing the drawing and everything, and like I peek out from the from behind my my easel so that I can look at how Miguel's posed, so that I can draw him and everything. And so Miguel like looks at me. He looked at me, and I looked at him, and then he gave me like one of those flirty smiles, and I was like, what the fuck is that? Because up until that point I was like, you do not interact with the models at all, and I'm like, what is that? Hi, I'm awkward AF, and I don't know how to react when pretty people like do nonverbal cues and stuff. Oh no, go back. So yeah. So anyways, those classes, like, they're expensive, but they're so worth it as an artist. And then at the SnafuCon show, how it starts off is all the artists get seated at the tables. Also, it's first come, first serve. So if you want to get in to do this panel, you best show up early, because it is popular, and it fills up quick. I show up to that for the line for that panel like easily 40 minutes before it opens, so that I can make sure that I get a good spot. And so after all the artists come in, and you can use whatever art supplies that you want to use, but they do have some available for you to use, which is like 10/10 like accommodation. Thank you. And so the oh, that's why your arm looks messed up. So so after everybody gets seated, and like the models are hanging out in the center of the table, or like in the center surrounded by the tables, and they have a couple different chairs and stuff. They have chairs, and they're circled, so it's like a circle within a circle. I'm trying to explain this, but I'm also like getting kind of tired. So when I can't explain something properly, I elect to draw to illustrate my point, because I'm much better at that. So yeah, it's like, a bunch of these long tables, like each one of the tables was like 8 foot or something, and then all the artists would sit around the tables, and we'd have our different art supplies and stuff. And then in the center, there would be all these different chairs, and there was usually like 6 to 10 models. So models would be in the center, and then artists would be on the outside. And so when the door closes, if you leave, you cannot come back in, because it's to protect the models, because the models start off fully clothed. And what's really awesome about SnafuCon is they are really inclusive. So you don't just have like all these good looking models. You have models of every different type of like body size, height, sexual orientations, gender, everything. The last one that I went to, they had somebody who wore a fursuit, so you can draw anthropomorphic animals or anthropomorphized characters. And so, why am I not drawing that arm right now? So when you after the doors close, and then the models get into position, and we start drawing. And the music that they put on, they take requests, so anybody can request any kind of music, and they will play it. It is not a Snafu Con life drawing panel until they play I'll Make a Man Out of You from the Mulan movie, the good one. And so just picture a room full of artists and models. Models are keeping still and the artists are drawing them, and just everybody is belting out the chorus to Be a man, must be swift as the coursing river. Just, it's magical. I love it. And so, so after the first song finishes, the artists stop drawing, and the models stand up, and they move to the next chair over, like musical chairs. So everybody gets a chance to draw like every model, and they can do any pose that they want. So some would stand, some would sit, some would. Well, I guess those are the only two options. Some people would use the chair as a prop, but they just have to hold the pose for like 3 to 5 minutes. And so after they rotate, they strip off an element of clothing. And so by the time, once everybody gets around the chairs, by the end of that, everybody is naked. Just naked. And they'll after everybody's basically had a chance to draw the models at some point, they do free draw. So you can ask like specific models, like, hey, can you come over here? I'd like to draw you. Can you do this pose for me? Or you can be like, I want like these 3 models, and I want you guys to do this kind of pose. Are you okay with that? And so people do those poses, and then at the very end, they all get together and they do one large group pose that you can draw. And then that's how the panel goes. And it's a lot of fun. And like I mentioned before, the really funny thing about this panel is it's... Oh, Riley, don't smack your son. He's being a good boy. So once the panel, because the panel is, the models are all volunteer staff. So there's moments the next day where I'm walking around and it's like, at one point a model walked, or a staff member walked by, and I turned to my then boyfriend and I was like, I saw them naked. I have no tact. And, so I had this, I had a couple of really funny moments, where I met the models. I actually became friends with one of the models, through another friend. I didn't know that was one of the models until later. So so I was at SAC Anime one year, and, I have a longtime fan turned friend, Christina. Awesome person. Very supportive. Love you, Christina. So Christina would always visit my table at SAC Anime when I used to do SAC Anime. And so she was visiting me, and she brought her friends. I think their names, I'm gonna make up names for them. The names are like Josh and Michael. So I got to meet Josh and Michael, and we were talking, and Christina was like, oh yeah, you you did the life drawing panel a couple of times. Josh was one of the models for that. And so I got a closer look at his face, because I was like, I feel like I've met you before the entire time that we're talking. And so he mentioned, like, yeah, I model for the life drawing thing sometimes, and again, no tact. I look at him and was like, "Oh, I remember. That's why you look so familiar. Last time I saw you, you were naked." And his boyfriend starts dying. Like, he has to steady himself on my table. He is laughing so hard. And just like, "Yep, that's me. I like your comic." We're cool. We're cool. Like, I talk to him every once in a while online. He's awesome. And then so this was like the last really funny thing that happened. So the last couple of times that I had gone to that convention, there was this one model. Like I said, I can appreciate aesthetically beautiful people, and it took me a long time to realize, like, because like, people always say, like, "Oh, if you think they're pretty, that means that you like them." It's like, no, you can think people are pretty just objectively. I mean, I want to sleep with them or nothing. It's like, I think, like, "Oh, you have a very pretty face." And in the case of this one model, you have, like, the most perfect butt I have ever seen on a human being. Hear me out. So I'd gone to the panel a couple of times because, like, SnafuCon became a like, that was a convention that me and my friends went to for fun. Like, that was a vacation convention. Yep. And so God, where was I going? So I was doing the life drawing panel because it's great exercise, and also, like, just a legitimately fun panel to go to. Like, I even brought a couple of friends with me who like, they themselves, like, they don't consider themselves artists, but they do like to draw, and they've never experienced a life drawing panel before that was actually, like, not at a university or whatever. So they actually had fun, and so we're doing. I've done these panels, like, at least twice before I was a guest, like, just participating in drawing. I was not modeling. I do not have the. I am way too shy for that. And I remembered there was this one model, and, like, she wore the prettiest lingerie, like, I'd ever seen on somebody. And also, just, I don't know how to explain this other than she just had the most perfect butt I've ever seen on a human. Like, it was like, dang, I am ace AF, but that is a gorgeous butt, ma'am. And so, like, she would always be, like I said, really pretty classy lingerie that would just, like, make drawing her just so much fun. And I would keep telling my friends about because I'm like, yeah, these panels are really cool, but there's this one model, just, like, my God, she's, like, butt, very beautiful butt. And they're just like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Mel? I'm like, a lot, but that's beside the point. Yes. And so here's the tragic thing. I could not draw her butt as nice as it was, but this was kind of what this person looked like from memory, because I haven't seen this person, like, oh God, it's been like 6 years. But I'm gonna continue that while I kind of draw her. So she so I've seen she was a regular. She always did this panel, so I would just appreciate her from the like, drawing her and stuff. And then I was a guest at SnafuCon in 2019. That sounds about right. I really gotta make this bigger. Ooh. So when I was a guest at the con in 2019, I had friends with me that I brought, and I was we were doing the panel and stuff, and at the end we were striking up conversation with the models, and the The model with the really, like, this was the best part. The model that I had been telling my friends about showed up. I did not have to point out who she was. They just knew. And they're like, oh, okay, that must be the person Mel was talking about. I'm like, and so we got to, gosh, she had really pretty glasses too. They were like, so we got to talking with a bunch of the models afterwards, and she was hanging out with us, and again, no tact. I'm just like, yeah, I was telling my friends about you, because she was really cool. She was a really cool person to talk to, so I didn't feel awkward at all. Just telling her, like, yeah, I've gone to these panels a couple of times, and I see what every one of them, and I never knew your name. So I was just like, yeah, there's this model there that I love drawing, and she has like the most perfect butt ever and the best lingerie. And she starts busting up laughing, and it just like, and so she was like, oh. And so I'm like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, no, that's totally fine. Thank you. And then we changed it, and she was like, oh, what's your name? And she's like, oh, my name's Melissa. Cue me dying of laughter. Okay, she had... So I'm not doing, like, any sketches right now, so this is, like... She had, like, really long, like... black hair. Okay, and I am not very good at drawing, like, classy lingerie, so, and YouTube will probably, like, kick me out if I... YouTube will be like, nah. But how do I draw that butt? So yeah, not that I think Melissa actually, like, follows me on anything, but just, like, hi, you still have, like, the prettiest butt that I've ever seen, and great taste in lingerie, and also just did really great poses and stuff. Okay, so she had, like, Pixar mom butt. It's probably the best way that I can explain it. Yeah, but not me. I'm flat like a pancake. Okay, I'm giving up on drawing her because I could never draw. It's been too long. Also, I'm waiting for YouTube to be like, your stream has been canceled because you're drawing nudity. But yeah, like pretty goth, like, lingerie. Why can't I draw? I used all my drawing trying to make Ian look okay. Yeah, Bloody Fearless. And I realize now I need to do more life drawing because my trying to draw from memory of this person was just, that was a horrible attempt. Anyway, SnafuCon, excellent. Panels, amazing. Also, thing that this convention is known for that cracks me up is one of their featured events that they do every year is an erotic Twinkie eating contest. You heard that right. It is a panel where they hand out Twinkies, and then the audience ranks the Twinkie eating, and whoever has the most erotic Twinkie eating prowess gets a prize. I have no idea what the prize is. I have never been to this panel before. I see it in the program book every year for this convention. Even if I don't go to this convention, I check the program book. It's there. It is a staple of this convention. The erotic Twinkie eating contest. And I kind of want to go for the lulz. Because it's just like, well, what'd you do this weekend? Oh, I went to this convention and watched the erotic Twinkie eating contest. It's just like, oh, just bring that up at the next office water cooler talk. I watched football. I did this. I participated in the erotic Twinkie eating contest. What, little man? Watch that be the one thing that makes a clip of, is me talking about the erotic Twinkie eating contest at Snafu Con. Yeah, stay weird, Snafu Con. Like, it's a small show, so like, by no means I don't exhibit there to make money. I exhibit there for the experience. No, why is he blue? I'm sorry, that was a very dramatic. I was caught by surprise. What are you doing, goofballs? What little man? Oh, it's 9 o'clock, that's why. Hey, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
It's 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I gotta feed the cats.
Yeah, pretty please.
Yeah. Come on, kitty.
I'm trying to remember any good convention stories that I have to share that I've either not shared already or just haven't told in a while. I haven't done did I draw that wrong damn layer? I did draw that on the wrong damn layer.
I was doing that yesterday.
Yeah, I haven't really done any shows in a while, so... Well, I got a show coming up. I'm pretty excited for that. Not sure if anybody here's... Actually, I don't think anybody here is, like, in the South San Francisco area, but if I'm wrong, South San Francisco Library on Saturday, April 26th, I will be exhibiting and peddling my wares. If you're in the area, you should come out to the event. It is free to attend. And also, a really cool event. I exhibited there how long ago did I exhibit there, though? That was forever. Okay, 2018 is not forever, but, you know. It's been a long time. I just need to print this face out and just, like, put it on my wall. Like, he's just so happy to see me. He's like, you're doing a good job. Thanks. Thanks for your encouragement, buddy. Oh, the last convention that well, have I been to a convention since? No, I haven't been to a convention since Massachusetts. Damn. Okay, so I went to Anime Boston, for the first time, in 2023. And never been before. I've heard amazing things, always wanted to go. So I finally got the chance to go, because I went as press for animecons.com. Because I help them out with some data entry sometimes. And I've done at least one review of them, of SAC Anime a couple years ago, but that's an old video. And I've been wanting to contribute more to the website. Also, going as staff, or going as a press, I got to go to the show. And I got, like, priority seating and stuff, so that was pretty cool. And I actually, since I wasn't exhibiting at the show like I usually am, I actually got to enjoy the show as an attendee, which never happens. Oh, yay. Insane. And so that was a trippy experience. Let's see. I've done conventions as an attendee, as an artist, as a vendor, panelist, guest, and now press. The only things that I have not done as... Oh, wait, no, I also did convention planning. Because I helped start a convention. Okay, I've been a convention artist, I've done this. Okay, the only thing that I have not done for a convention is staff. Just basic staffing. I have not done basic staffing, but besides that, I have basically been involved with every facet of a convention in some way. Wow, I have a lot of experience with conventions. Sorry, but having a bit of a midlife crisis now. So yeah. So being press was really cool for Anime Boston. If you ever get the chance to go to Anime Boston, it was an experience. I greatly enjoyed it, and I hope that I can go back someday. Anime Boston, bring me as a guest. I'll make cool artwork for your show. I'll do funny, engaging panels. Anime Boston was really cool, and what was the thing that I did there that was really awesome? Damn. I had a story, and then I lost it. You can tell it's getting late because my brain's starting to slow down. Oh, that's what it was. Okay, so I went to Anime Boston, and I stayed there for a night at the convention hotel, because a night was all that I could afford. Because it was like, God, it was like $230 a night to stay at this hotel, and I could not get any friends to go with me to this show. Like, guys, please, help me bring the cost down a little bit. So yeah, I stayed for one night because that's all I could afford. And I got put at like the... God, what floor was I at? It was something ridiculous, like the 12th or 14th floor. I made a TikTok about it because I was, I did a dumb. Fun fact, going downstairs, not as bad as going up them. I learned a very important lesson about stairs and how just difficult they are. I'm looking up the video real quick so I can remember how many floors exactly, because it was what happened was I stayed Saturday and then I left Sunday on the last day of the convention, and because everybody was checking out, the elevators were just I could not get on the elevator at all. And so I was like, oh well, okay, I'll just go downstairs and I'll just go up and down the stairs. That's fine. So I went down the stairs because I got myself some breakfast, and because I lived in the Boston area, you get Dunks, and there was a Dunks, Dunkin' Donuts for those who aren't familiar. So Dunkin' Donuts, just down the what is that? No, that was a. There it is. Okay. So I'm gonna reshare this thing.
The elevators are pretty much at a standstill, and so I thought it'd be smart to just take the stairs. So I took the stairs down to get my Dunks ordered, which I ordered like an hour ago, and 20 minutes of that was spent trying to figure out an elevator and getting downstairs. So I took the stairs down, and now I'm going back up. I made it to the 11th floor. My room is on the 23rd floor. So
Oh damn!
if anybody's seeing this and I didn't post it, that means the stairs at Anime Boston killed me. So
Yeah, I found the video. I forgot it was 23 steps. So I was on the 23rd floor, and I was like, oh, elevators are taking forever. I'll take the stairs. So I went down 23 floors to get my Dunks order, and then I climbed 23 floors to get back to my room so that I could start the checkout process. Going down 23 flights of stairs, not that big of a deal. I got my exercise, everything was good. Climbing up 23 flights of stairs, I thought I was going to expire. I was exhausted. I'm gonna share that video. I'm gonna share that video right now to the Discord. Cause oh, that was so bad. Oh, Discord's probably gonna be like, you can't share this because it's over a certain limit. So yeah, there was that time that I climbed the stairs at Anime Boston and they almost ended me. But you know what? I lived. Okay, I'm gonna finish doing the basic shadings because that will take no time at all. Well, it takes some time. Everything takes time. And then I'm gonna call it quits for the evening because I'm getting sleepy and I gotta do some con prep stuff. And I'm gonna do that while watching a movie. Oh, Ian, my beloved. You're so cute. So handsome. Look at that handsome little man. He is a 10, but he reads at a kindergarten level. But I do not do Melina's hair. Ooh. oh my lord, my chat had not been. I was like, dang, nobody's really there. No, y'all have been there. Just my chat was not refreshing. Well, now I can read through this while I'm doing my thing. Damn. This is some bullshit. Okay, maybe I can't read and do this at the same time. That's... This boy. Oh, damn it. Sure, if there's any left. I went through and, full disclosure, I went and I just deleted a bunch of the old streams because they were just, it was just a lot of backlog, and I was like, I don't need all these. But, I will gladly talk about reptiles again during another stream. But yeah, wasn't trying to hide anything or whatever. I was just like, I feel like deleting these. There weren't any nuggets of gold in there anyways. I should just do a stream one day where it's just me, Mel info dumps about ball pythons. Yeah, I really don't. Work in progress. Oh no. And oh yeah, these ones. I'm very happy with these next few pages because I don't need to draw backgrounds. Because I already drew all the super detailed backgrounds already. Oh, actually, you know what? Because y'all are here, and I was there, and now I finished that monster of a page that I've been working on for God knows how long. I don't care. The page isn't getting updated for a while, but just I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna share parts of it. Because look at this background. Oh, so many hours of my life into each illustration so that you can get an idea of like just... Oh, this is a cameo. One of my friends got a cameo in the comic, so this is my high school buddy, and this is my high school buddy's little baby, and this is my high school buddy's little beau. And then can we just appreciate just Ian just like, oh, this is awkward. So yeah, I worked on that page way too damn long. But it looks good. I'm about to finish up Stream Tim and then we can start the final Insidious movie. I don't think he heard me. Ignored. Oh, so we had a funny moment today. So the house that we're living in is old. Like, this house turns 100 in about 10 years. So it's about to be a centennial house. So there's a lot of stuff here that needs to be fixed and replaced. And one of those things is the windows, because all of the windows in here are old AF. And so Lee and Tim had somebody come out to do an estimate for windows. Spoiler alert, windows are expensive. Aw, thanks, Draws. Give your pups a good scritch on the head for me. And I'll see y'all on the Discord. And, you know, I think I'm just gonna call it good, because it is getting kind of late. And give everybody else a chance to dip. Where was I feel like I was talking about something and I just got completely sidetracked. Oh yeah, so Windows. Somebody came in to give an estimate on Windows and stuff, and when the dude walked in, or when I've been working in the office, and so the dude was talking to Lee, and he slips into some Spanish, and then Lee responds, and fun fact if you didn't know, Lee is bilingual and speaks fluent Spanish. And so her and the guy start going off in Spanish with each other, and so while I'm walking to the kitchen to get some lunch, and I hear them speaking Spanish, and Tim's mom was visiting also at the time, so she's like, oh, I don't speak any Spanish, and so I walk in, I'm like, oh, un poquito español. And I was like, oh, hello, you kind of showed up out of nowhere. And so this guy already had been walking through the house to measure stuff to get for an estimate. And so he had I'm assuming he had walked into my room to measure out my windows. I have finally fulfilled my childhood dream at the age of 30 last year. And I got a loft bed. I always wanted a loft bed when I was younger, and my parents were like, we're not getting you a loft bed because you're just going to outgrow it and then you're going to be stuck with this bed. Joke's on them. I wanted a loft bed, and I finally got one for Christmas. And not just any loft bed, because I thought, hey, it's a loft bed for old people. And by that, I mean instead of a ladder, it's got stairs. And the stairs has built-in shelving and a coat rack. So and it's got a full desk underneath. So I have my bed on top, and then I have a little area underneath that I use for that's where I keep all my traditional art stuff for painting. And so I'm like, yeah, living the dream. And then so I walk in the kitchen, and I'm wearing my hoodie, my yoga pants, and I've got my cat ear headphones on. And so I'm not entirely surprised that the dude turned to Lee and asked in Spanish, "Oh, is that your daughter?" Lee starts busting up laughing. She's just like, "No, this is the roommate." Poor Tim's mom, no idea why Lee was laughing so hard. Um, but like I didn't pick up exactly that he asked that if I was their daughter. Um, but I'm not surprised that he asked because he saw my room, and obviously my room looks like a teenager's room. And me myself, I I do not look like I am in my 30s. I still get carded for a lot of basic things. So, I got a good laugh out of that. It's like, no. Oh, you know, here, I'm gonna pull up a picture of it, because it's a really cool loft bed. I love my loft bed. When I got it, in, when we were living in Chico, um, we had really high ceilings. We had, like, 10 or 12 foot tall ceilings. So the loft bed was great because I could sit up in the loft bed and I would not hit my head on the ceiling. It was great. The loft bed, the ceilings here are a little smaller. I do bonk my head a couple of times on the ceiling. It's mostly when I'm not paying attention. Loft bed with stairs. Oh, there we go. That loft bed looks way too fancy. It's got a decanter. You know what? Yeah, this is... Actually, I think this is the exact loft bed that I have. That's not a loft bed. That is horrifying, is what that is. No, save. Copy the image. I wish to share this amazing bed. So, live your dreams. Get the loft bed. What the? Copy image. Oh, now you want to work. There we go. So this is the loft bed that I have. I love it. But yeah, see so the steps are also shelving. It's got this thing here. And the cats love it too, because the cats can climb up onto the bed. Like, super easy. Also, can I just add, I find it so classy that this dude, like, they set this up. This dude's got a decanter. It's full of water, but... Or vodka. But yeah, oh, and it came with these LED lights and stuff that it's remote controlled, so I can have, like, fancy lighting or whatever. But anyways, I love my loft bed. 10/10 recommend. I love having the extra space down there for all my paint stuff. I'm not sponsored by the loft bed, but I will recommend. I really love my loft bed. You'll outgrow it. No. Oh, and it's not like and what's cool about the loft bed is it's not tiny. I have a full mattress and that loft bed can fit like full and queen size beds. So like it's not meant for a child. This is an adult loft bed. This is a loft bed for somebody who pays taxes. And I'm almost done with what I set out to do. Oh, shit, I think I did finish what I needed to do. Oh, well, I guess I can do JJ, because she doesn't have... I don't do anything to her hair. Hell yeah, this page is going to be ready to finish tomorrow. No, I'm not worried about rolling off the bed because the loft bed that I have, it has railing up into a certain point. So even if I did roll over to that side, I would hit something. But also, I sleep close. I sleep closer to the wall than I do the actual edge of the bed. So like, I have a full size bed, but I really only use half of it. The other half, I usually stack up like books or whatever it is that I'm listening, or like whatever I'm working on or something. I'll usually bring like a book, a puzzle, or something, whatever I'm. And by puzzle, I mean like a toy or something to fidget with. But yeah, I'm not worried about falling off the bed. I'm worried about the cats falling off the bed though, because they're dumb. Aw, you heard me talking about you. Yeah, you're cute, but you're cute, but your brain is made of shrimp. Aw, yeah. It's so funny that you're settling on my lap, Riley, because I'm about to finish what it is that I'm working on, and then I'm taking you off, because we're gonna migrate. I'm gonna stretch my leggies. And then I got some zines that I need to fold. If you don't know a goblin like JJ, you are the goblin. Thank you. And I have finished what I needed to do, so I'm gonna save this and end the stream. Yay. Alright, thanks everybody for coming. Oh no, don't camp. Have a good night. I'll see y'all on Tuesday for the next stream. And if you are a part of the EC Discord, I will see you on the Discord. I got some dumb stuff to share. Alright, take care, have a good night, have a good morning, wherever it is that you